Pump it up, pump it up.
Trae.
Come on, come on.
With Trae.
Pump it up, pump it up.
It's the day with Trae.
This is the day to gain inspiration, to make a positive change in the nation. We're inviting you to partake in conversation, to raise your vibration. It's the day that we will all celebrate all of our peace that make this thing elevate. Watch the negative fade away, cause it's the day with Trae.
Grand Rising, everyone. Welcome to the Day with Trae. I'm your host, Trae Holiday. I want to welcome you to our final week of Black History Month. And of course, this is a leap year, so we have an extra special day on the 29th to make sure that we wrap it all up for you nice and right with a pretty on bow. But of course, you know, right here in the Black Media Matter Studios, we celebrate Black brilliance every single day on the Day with Trae. So I'm excited to always continue these themes throughout the year. But I'm really excited, y'all, because today I get to start my week off with three amazing, beautiful Black queens. First up, we're going to be talking to Jenefeness. She's going to be telling us all about BOBE. Sounds like they have some events coming up and a specialty that we get to celebrate with them. And next, we're actually going to be talking to Kennesha, who is one of the amazing folks over there in marketing and communications at Africatown Community Land Trust. She is here with our very own Auntie Jackie. Both of them are going to be talking about Africatown, the state of Africatown this year. There is going to be some phenomenal things happening March 2nd. So we're going to be diving into those details with them later on in the show. But of course, as you know, y'all, it is the top of the show right now. So it's a perfect time for you to participate with us. Go ahead and tag and share this stream with folks who you feel could benefit from a daily dose of dopeness right here on the Day with Trae. If you can't watch our TV show, you know, don't trip. We got you covered, okay? Because you can always listen to us anywhere you find your favorite podcast. Just search Converge Media Network and the Day with Trae. You'll find me on whichever platform is your favorite. We are on all of them. Huge shout out to the podcasting team for making that happen. We appreciate you, and we appreciate all those global listeners that are finding some value here on what we're sharing on the Day with Trae. So thanks so much for listening and tuning in. But y'all know when I got guests like this, it's time to get right to it. So up next, we got Jenefeness in the building. We're going to be talking all things BOBE. Hi, Jenefeness.
Hello. Thank you for having me, Triana.
It's always a pleasure to have you. And you stay on it, okay? I just want to say that first, and before we even start, you stay on it. And it's, you know, you're one of those people that's like, how do you do all the things you do, right? You wear different hats. You're here, you're there. And then BOBE, you just really has exploded. So tell us a bit more about what BOBE is for some of those new viewers who may not know.
Absolutely. So thank you for that. People are asking me all the time, like, how do you do everything? And I always say, I make time to do everything I want to do. And that's what I do. But as far as BOBE is concerned, we are a collaborative effort. We are here to help create a more equitable entrepreneurial ecosystem in Washington State. And so I think that is a major difference in some of the other organizations out here, because some of them are like focused on communities, which is beautiful and amazing, right? But with BOBE, we're focused on the entire state of Washington, because we know that there is an access problem with Black-owned businesses. There's a problem with them not even having connections to their local entities, but also the entire state and the resources. So while we started, myself, Curtis Calhoun, and BJ Stewart was at Urban Impact. Now he done moved to Chicago. Oh, wow. But the three of us got together and we were like, this is crazy. Our folks are not getting PPP. They are not getting EIDL. They don't even know. They don't have relationships with banks. They don't have any of that. So we were like, what can we do? So we got together, we started doing events to educate, to motivate, and encourage Black-owned businesses across the entire state. So while Curtis was at Black Dot Africatown and BJ was at Urban Impact, and at the time I was at Washington State University, we decided we're going to break down those barriers, those silos, those walls, and come together. And we've been doing that ever since. And so now this collaborative effort has about, I don't know, maybe a couple dozen folks that are on the board that are pushing, you know, as far as Tri-Cities, and as far, you know, I live in Roy, Washington. So all over the entire state, just trying to really elevate these Black-owned businesses through education and access.
Well, this is important because BOBE stands for Black-owned Business Excellence. Yes. And that's exactly what you're setting Black-owned businesses up for, right? By having all of these connections and really utilizing some of the streams that have existed for small business businesses from the beginning, really, and you're allowing for, again, that education and access to be a focal point here. But y'all have some events coming up. These are the ways that some of those businesses who might not be connected can really learn more and dive in. Tell us about some of these amazing events you have coming up.
Yeah, so another difference with BOBE is that anytime we ask somebody to do something, we give them a check. Like, we try to use all Black-owned business, from the vendors, from the venue, to, you know, to the media, to everybody. We try to use Black-owned. And what brings me joy is that when we hand them that check, they're like, oh, I wasn't expecting this, because we don't necessarily tell them. But if we ask you to be a part of a panel, we're going to pay you. Like, we want you to know that your business is important and you are important. So in April 18th, we have an event coming up called Pricing Perspectives. We're going to talk about pricing. This is an area where a lot of us fail. We either overprice or underprice, and we don't get the sale, right? And so we're going to talk about that. We're going to have a panel of some amazing Black entrepreneurs to talk about some missteps that they've had in their own businesses, and also some triumphs, some successes. And then we'll do some networking. And so we still don't have a space for that yet. But I'll tell you about the one we're having in July 18th. July 18th, we're going to talk about capacity building, how the fact that 98% of our businesses are solopreneurs, micropreneurs, but we're not doing this effectively, right? And so there's so many tools nowadays with this AI. And so we're going to talk about that, capacity building. And that's going to be at Katie Hall is going to be presenting, and then we're going to have a panel, and it's going to be at Boom Boona Cafe, the one in Renton. And then on October 17th, we're going to talk about branding brilliance. And we're going to have Darnisha Weary. She's leading that one. We'll have a panel, and we'll have that one at her Black Coffee Northwest in the CD. So we're constantly, again, trying to pour into these Black-owned businesses, making sure that we're supporting them, we're using them as a venue, as a vendor, as a speaker, as a panelist, and really elevating, because we just had our symposium February 1st. There were folks in the symposium, folks that have lived here forever, had not even heard of. For example, there was Jeffrey Taylor. His insurance agency has been in the CD for over 30 years. There's folks that were like, oh, I didn't even know we had a Black insurance agent. I'm like, come on, y'all. We got to do better. And that's what we're doing. We're elevating these businesses and putting them out front. So if you need insurance, there's no way you should be on the yellow pages. You should know that this Black man, this Black-owned business is one that you should be getting your insurance from. We had presidential transportation. He's doing big things. Yeah. He's been around also for decades. People didn't even know. So when you're calling and you're calling for Uber or Lyft or Black Car, you could be calling his Black Car service, this Black-owned business. So elevating these Black-owned businesses that are not getting the notoriety because maybe they're not in the limelight. Maybe their marketing is not that great, you know, but still they need to be known. And so that's what we're doing.
You know what? The existence of Black business is another one of those just truly inspiring stories, how people continue to stay in business, stay profitable, bringing resources to community is so key. And it sounds like, I mean, from all the work y'all are doing, because that's 2024. Y'all got some great events planned and lined up for folks to really tap into these resources. But through all of these hard efforts of you and all the others now on the board, all those who are contributing to BOBE, y'all just recently got awarded for something. I would need you to tell us more about that.
Yes, so that's just super exciting. So number one, we have some amazing allies. I would be remiss not to say that. We have some folks that are in place in different organizations that are saying, hey, this is what BOBE is doing, and they're elevating us from the very beginning, like the Department of Enterprise Services. Man, they've been giving us money, like not just lip service, but actual money to say, hey, BOBE's doing it, here's a couple $1,000s, here's a few $1,000s, and every year they're giving us more. So they nominated us for the Washington Economic Development Agency's Advocate of the Year Award, the Economic Development Advocate of the Year Award, and we won. Wow. And we're the first Black business, first Black entity to win this award. Wow. And so they have an effort to say, hey, we want to push diversity, and we're making them accountable to that. Like, how are you pushing it? Oh, these are the folks, because they asked us to, hey, can you push this out to BOBE to see if they'll come to the WIDA conference? I'm like, let me see the agenda. I don't see no representation on here. Nobody that look like us. So why are we coming to your event? Yeah. Oh, we're going to do better. Well, do better first. Do better first. And so as a result, they do have some color, you know, in their agenda, and we're going. We actually paid for 10 folks to go to this conference because we want to be, if there's conversations about economic development in Washington, why shouldn't we be there? Our Black-owned businesses should be there. Our Black business owners should be there. Our Black folks should be there. So we're paying for 10 folks to go to this WIDA conference, the Winter WIDA conference, because we want our voices to be there. It ain't enough for just Jenefeness or Miko or Taj or Tiara. It's not going to be enough until we're all there, sitting at the table where these decisions are being made, where the dollars are being made, where the budgetary line items are being addressed. We need to be like, well, why is it going there? Why can't it go there? They don't know because we're not sitting at these tables. So that is why BOBE exists, to help create a more equitable entrepreneurial ecosystem in Washington State.
Oh, well, let me tell you something. This is why I love having you on, because every time you come with this high energy, and you get me pumped up, girl. You get me pumped up.
It's the red.
No, I'm telling you, the fire is on today, because honestly, the beauty of what BOBE is doing is so necessary. I talk about supplier diversity all the time, and the idea that there's some work happening where we're really trying to work with DES in my state role to really say, look, here are some of the barriers that need to be broken down in order for these doors to open up for Black-owned businesses and global majority-owned businesses. So I love that BOBE is a part of that and that y'all are pushing on that end. Again, Jenefeness, thank you so much for all the work you're doing. Of course, if folks want to get tapped in, they don't want to miss any of these events you mentioned, or they are really in need of your services, look right there, let them know how they get connected.
Absolutely. So first of all, let me give a shout out to Mujali at Outside Think, because he just redid our website. And so you're able to go to our website and look at all the events and connect. Every single Friday, we have a BOBE Vibe Tribe where we meet online at 10 a.m. every Friday. We've been doing that for over 4 years. But you can go to bobewa.org. So BOBEWA.org.
Oh, Jenefeness, thank you again.
Thank you.
Powerful move, my sister.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh. Y'all, look, she done got us started nice and right. And up next, we got Kennesha from Africatown Community Land Trust, keeping the energy up and giving us some of those details we need for this year's State of Africatown. Y'all don't want to miss this. Stay tuned. You're watching The Day with Trae.
Seattle Opera presents X, The Life and Times of Malcolm X. The story of one of the most misunderstood figures in U.S. history comes to McCall Hall for an exceptional night at the opera. Pulitzer Prize-winning composer Anthony Davis produces an American classic with influences from classical music, jazz, pop, blues, and more. Don't miss X, The Life and Times of Malcolm X, February 24th through March 9th at McCall Hall. Details at seattleopera.org.
There's a group of family who bought the building who have no intentions of it being an art space. Then Elijah was murdered.
Was riding with his 9-year-old nephew when they were both shot near Broadway and Pine just after 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
If the community wants to see Sankofa continue and thrive, we're going to actually need your support on this.
Save the Sankofa Theater.
Save Sankofa.
Save Sankofa. Save Sankofa.
Welcome back, everyone, to The Day with Trae. I'm your host, Trae Holiday. Joining me right now for the first time in the Black Media Matters studios is someone who is behind the scenes with all the phenomenal marketing and communication y'all have been seeing coming out of Africatown Community Land Trust. We got Kennesha in the building. Hi, Kennesha.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. How are you, Trae?
It's so good to have you on.
Thank you. I am honored to be here.
Yeah. Well, this is exciting because when we think about the state of Africatown, this is now out celebrating what, the 10th year?
This is actually the 11th year.
11th year. And this is something that people have been really looking forward to every year. Tell us a little bit of the background of State of Africatown for some of those who may not know.
Absolutely. So State of Africatown started back in 2013. It began as a listening session, and it was founded by the Honorable Don Mason, K.Y. King Garrett, who happens to be our founder and CEO, and also Miss Evelyn Allen. And so every year it was created as a listening session for elected officials and public officials to come and gain an opportunity to hear about what's happening in the community. And so I would just offer this idea now. We've had 10 years of this amazing opportunity to hear from community and businesses and organizations, and offer that as a listening space. But more than listening, I think it's an opportunity to engage and then to re-engage now with the opportunity to build upon what's been set over the past 10 years.
Yeah, I think that there's, I'm so honored. I've been able to MC it for the last few years.
You're amazing. It's like the best part. Like, don't come to listen. Come to listen to Trae.
Well, I love it because every time I'm so blown away at the work that our organizations and our institutions and entities are out here doing. Yeah. And for me, it's been such a front row seat to all of the great work that's happening in community that sometimes if you're not really there doing the work, you don't really know all the stuff that they've even accomplished over 1 year. So I'm always looking forward to hearing how folks have been making an impact, continuing to grow, being sustainable, right? Whatever they've done to be sustainable is so key. But I think for me, there's always this level, y'all know, of inspiration that I get to walk away with. What are some of the things you're excited about this year?
Yeah, so this year, the biggest thing for me, so just a little bit of background, I am not originally from Seattle. I grew up in Alabama where I was raised in Black community, came here, and as many folks who come here from other parts of the country, I was looking for Black community. And over the past year, I've been working for ACLT, and what has been so transformative for me as communications and marketing manager, but just not only as communications and marketing manager, but as someone who is Black, who lives in Seattle, finding that connection to community in that space, specifically at State of Africatown. I think it's this unique opportunity that again, speaking from someone who is a transplant to the area, if you are looking for ways to engage with community, if you are looking for ways to connect individually as a business owner, as someone who is part of community, this is the space to come to do that. Because we have areas of education, we have areas of business and obviously, policy and all those things. This is the place where all those things, quote unquote, converge. And you're able to connect in a way that I don't see that happening in many other spaces in this state, in this county, and in the city.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And I think too that you said converge, and that's what I was thinking too, because you get a bit of everything. You do. And the one thing that I also will say too is that over the years, the State of Africatown has shown different entities, right? Different, and White King and I were talking, it's like, man, there's so much to showcase that it's great that we've been able to showcase all these different ones. But even for those who have presented in years past, they come just to see what's going on. So if you're not plugged in, this is the way to get plugged in with so many different organizations in one building that are doing the work on the ground. And that's one of the things that I think is so key to what the State of Africatown offers, is that where else do we get to really spotlight and highlight these works over the year and have one event that really focuses on elevating that, but also celebrating that.
Absolutely.
Which I think is so key. Here on the Day with Trae, we work to have, amazing guests like yourselves who can give some purview as to what's going on in our community. But State of Africatown brings it all together in one celebration. Again, of course, we got some of these details. You got to give us the details so folks know how to tap in.
Yeah, so this year we have the Elder of Distinction this year, which is a pretty significant honoree. We have Chief Claude Harris, who's being honored this year, and he is if those who don't know, he was the first chief fire, what's the word? Now I'm getting all tied up, but he was the first firefighter chief for the city of Seattle. And so that's really significant. I think he's 92, 95 years of age and still driving, by the way. Wow. We offered to escort him and bring him into the space, and he said, no, I'll drive myself. So if that lets you know, he is the honoree this year. And then we have Council Member Gamay, we have Council Member Joy. They will also be speaking as representatives of the city and of the state. And so it's just a beautiful opportunity there. And if you're looking to engage, if you want to find ways to connect to the event, you can go to africatownlandtrust.org and reserve your tickets there. I will say space is limited. If you've been to Langston, you know it's not a very large space, so we have limited space. Sign up today, reserve your spots.
That's right, because it's packed every year.
It is packed every year.
Even after COVID, during the COVID years, we went virtual, and that was phenomenal. We had a whole virtual event that was produced. It was amazing. And then as soon as we got back to Langston, it was packed again.
Yes.
So this is one that community runs to. I'm also excited because the Office of Equity will be present.
Yes.
So, you know, Director Megan Matthews will be there, and I get to work with her. And so I'm so glad that this is an opportunity for her to also hear what's going on in community and for us to make those close ties between city, county, and state, because there's so much great work happening. Kennesha, thank you for the work you're doing over there, because we are getting informed of all the great work that ACLT is doing, because you got that marketing on lock. Thank you again for joining me today. Come anytime.
I will.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Y'all, we're going to continue this amazing discussion, because up next we got the co-board chair right in the building. We call her Auntie Jackie. Y'all know she's been here before. For those who don't know, you gonna learn. Y'all don't want to miss this. Stay tuned right after this short break. You're watching The Day with Trae.
Africatown Plaza is our latest affordable housing development project. It's 126 units of affordable housing over community commercial space.
It's the first time in my career, and I've been doing this for 10 years, that I was able to design for people who look like me.
Africatown Plaza is a beacon of hope.
Africatown Plaza is a love letter to the community.
Seattle Opera presents X, the life and times of Malcolm X. The story of one of the most misunderstood figures in U.S. history comes to McCall Hall for an exceptional night at the opera. Pulitzer Prize-winning composer Anthony Davis produces an American classic with influences from classical music, jazz, pop, blues, and more. Don't miss X, the life and times of Malcolm X, February 24th through March 9th at McCall Hall. Details at seattleopera.org.
There's a group of family who bought the building who have no intentions of it being an art space. Then Elijah was murdered.
He was riding with his 9-year-old nephew when they were both shot near Broadway and Pine just after 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
If the community wants to see Sankofa continue and thrive, we're going to actually need your support on this.
Save the Sankofa Theater.
Save Sankofa.
Save Sankofa. Save Sankofa. Save Sankofa.
Welcome back, everyone, to The Day with Trae. I'm your host, Trae Holiday. Joining me to wrap up this magnificent Monday episode is Auntie Jackie, co-chair of Africatown Community Land Trust. What is going down, Auntie Jackie?
Grand rising, niece, and thank you so much for having me back again. You know, it's always a pleasure to be in space and be in your presence. I miss you.
I miss you, too. You've been traveling the whole globe.
Girl.
Not a part of the globe. I mean the whole globe.
Listen, and before we get started on the program, got back from Ghana. You know I love you like a fat kid loves cake. So, girl, I had to bring that back to you.
No.
That is from the motherland, girl.
Stop it.
That's the
y'all gonna see this. You know I'm with it.
I knew you would love it, girl.
Oh my gosh, y'all. She comes through for me every time. Thank you, Auntie.
You are so welcome.
Oh my gosh. Well, you know, aside from all of your world travels, you still stay plugged into the community in such an intimate way with the work that you're doing with Africatown Community Land Trust. I want to just hear from your perspective of why it was important for you to bring your gifts to that board. Tell us why you decided to really sign up and participate.
Absolutely. Listen, as a lifelong resident of the CD, Seattle's historic Central District, we call it the CD. I have been in that district for 71 years, and that is my hood. Listen, when I think about back in the 80s when it was 80% black home ownership, and now we're down to only 8%, but yet we're still here through growth, resilience, empowerment. My community is still standing strong. And so yes, I'm on the board because I believe in the mission to achieve, develop, and acquire land. We are still here and we are moving strong. My mantra this year, niece, is let's do more in 24. Girl, we coming with it at the State of Africatown. So I just thank you for this opportunity and platform to talk about it. It's awesome.
Yeah, well, you have been able to really see these last few State of Africatowns where people are bringing some specific information, and I'm excited because you and we spent some time together in Egypt. Y'all don't know, she was my roommate in Egypt, okay? My roomie, and our tour guide was Ashra Kwesi, who's been doing this work for 42 years. Some of you may know Dr. Ben. He was with Dr. Ben. That was his mentor, guided him, and we got to experience his brilliance in Egypt, and I'm so grateful that at the State of Africatown, he's actually going to be honored for his lifetime works right there by bringing black folks to, from here, from all over the globe to Egypt to learn about their history. He's going to be honored, and then later he's going to be talking at Evergreen. He's going to give a whole lecture. So you really helped to put that in motion, and I had to thank you publicly for that. And so it's great to be able to have a space like the State of Africatown to honor our folks who are doing great work. Talk to us about that Elder of Distinction Award and why it's important that we make sure that we utilize this space to honor our elders in that way.
Well, we know that the 17 covenant principles is Sankofa. We have to look back to look forward. In order to do that, we have to acknowledge the presence of those that have gone before us. Dr. Kwesi is a well-known researcher. He is sought out all over the country. As you know, he is about bringing ancient civilization and knowledge to us today so that we know who we are. And the interesting thing is that Dr. Kwesi's research directly aligns with Africatown's mission to achieve, develop, and acquire not just land, but our minds, our black genius minds. We need to know how to explore and empower each other to move forward, to reimagine Black Seattle. So I am excited to see him again, and thank you for your instrumental efforts to get him here. We're excited.
Well, yeah, we're definitely excited, and I'm so glad that it worked out for him to participate there and be honored there. But also, we have so many amazing elders. I mean, we're talking about, Claude, first black chief of the firefighters. Like, it's important that we do this, and I know that, it really started with Elder Don Mason, who has been so integral in the background of making sure that we always, every year, have amazing elders to honor. And I can only imagine, in all of the work you've been doing, I know your name is on the short list somewhere because you have been so significant in your life. Oh, I'm getting emotional, y'all, because I love me some Auntie, okay? But honestly, you're such an amazing inspiration for a woman like me, to not only because you look fine and fabulous at 70 plus, but also because you really care and you move with love and care, and we all feel that. And I just want you to know how important that is to me as a young woman, also from the CD. I want to thank you for your service. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your pouring into all of us and constantly checking on us and showing us what we can do by still living it up all over the globe like you've been doing. I just had to thank you for that, because it really means something special to me.
And sweetheart, I appreciate that. You know Auntie is 10 toes down for the community. You know that. And I have to say that We are still not there yet. We're just turning the corner. Africatown Community Land Trust, and I hope people will tap into the work that we're doing, volunteer. Any donation that people can give, small or large, is greatly appreciated. We're doing the work. We are responsible and we're good stewards. Africatown Community Land Trust, as we see it today, is soon to open up the doors of Africatown Plaza, 126 affordable units right on the corner of 23rd and Spring. We're bringing our diaspora back for people to be able to live in the community that they grew up in and they have connections with. We're doing the work every day with Banu Community Home to shelter 24/7. 24/7 we are sheltering and giving resources to Black men. And so I believe wholeheartedly, like faux flats on a Cadillac, that our mission is here, it's living and breathing. It's because of you and people like you that keep their shoulders to the ground. We're going to move this thing, Trayana.
Yeah, absolutely, and you're doing it. So of course, if people do want to donate, if they want to tap in, they want to volunteer, I want to give you some time to look right there in that camera, let them know exactly how they sign up.
Thank you so much, Trae. What I'd like to say is that I hope, first of all, that you will be at the State of Africatown on Saturday, March 2nd. It will be held at the Langston Hughes Cultural Center on 17th South in Yesler. That's the place to be, so come on out. There will be a broad spectrum of voices that you will be able to tap into, partner with, collaborate with, and also you can go to our website, www.africatownlandtrust.org. As our president and CEO, KY King, says, tap in, don't tap out. Catch the vision. We're gonna do more in 24.
Love it. I'm taking that phrase. I'm trying to do more at 24. Thank you so much, Auntie. We love and appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
Oh,
love you.
Y'all, I told you it was going to be a phenomenal episode. It's only best that I wrap it up with Auntie Jackie. You know, when I talk about being inspired by my guests here on The Day with Trae, you know, today, these three phenomenal queens, Jenefeness, Kennesha, and ending with Auntie Jackie, just showed you how you can be a part of the solution. Doesn't matter what your age is, what your status is, what your talent is, whatever it is that you can be bringing out to community, the fact that we all get to benefit from your brilliance, it starts with you being willing to share it with us.
Come on.
Like they all have done.
Come on.
So I just want to thank y'all for watching today, and definitely thank my guests for providing this abundance of inspiration on this episode today. Y'all know I want you to be inspired to also find a way to see yourself as a part of the solution, as my guests have here. And don't forget, get your tickets today. Kennesha told you, space is limited. State of Africatown, March 2nd, 10 a.m. at Langston Hughes. You don't want to miss it. Go ahead and go to africatownlandtrust.org to get your tickets today. Thank y'all so much for watching today. And for me, until tomorrow at 11 a.m., y'all. Peace. Converge Media produces culturally relevant content for Black and urban audiences. Our coverage is raw, transparent, and objective, praised by community leaders, government officials, and residents. Support Converge Media today via Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal at Converge Media.